Hey, today I'm gonna show you something I was gonna throw out. I've had it for, I don't know, 6 years or so. I was gonna put it on my little yarder. Did not do it. Went with the little Motorola talkabouts instead. This is from the Tin Hat days. This is the equivalent of a talkie tooter. There was very few companies that made this stuff, and this was the other company that wasn't wildly successful. These are the bugs with the leather belt. So you'd wear these, strap these on around your waist all day. Fairly heavy. I've got all the stuff with them. They still kind of work. One of them works. This is where at night they would undo this, take it home. Take one of these vintage plugs from the 60s. Take that end, that's the charger. They just plug it into their wall, put it in there, and screw it on tight. So I actually got 3 chargers. I've got 2 bugs. One of them does not work. I took it to an electronics shop, but it wasn't worth it, so we never ended up using these anyways. So they're made by a company, these ones are dated 1968. I'll have a look at the nameplate here. They're called an electro bug, the brass thing there. Radio frequency 165.45, tone 200. They're manufactured by Challenger Electronics in Vancouver, BC. It's actually Burnaby. It says there that they must be charged for a minimum of 12 hours every night. I've got some spare parts for them too, little push buttons. So quite cumbersome, fairly heavy, weigh a couple of pounds almost each. This one does not work. This one had hair growing in it. It's all rusty and dusty inside. This is what they look like inside. This is the antenna. This little cable, same as on this one, and they run through that little scabbard, through the strap, through this plastic tube. This one's worn right out through the leather. So inside they have a battery pack. Do all this one-handed. There we go. Actually, this is the batteries for it. They still work. I think they're from the late 80s, early 90s. They were redone. I know the history on these two, where they worked, and the last job and all that. And I think this is the brains in this one with all the capacitors and diodes and whatnot. And again, it's got the symbol in there, the electro bug by Challenger Electronics. The serial number in Burnaby, BC. These were made in 1968. These ones. And like everybody I meet, I just look them up. I found this guy, he's still around. Well, he was 6 years ago. I looked up everybody with the last name Challenger in that area, and I found him and I told him, and it was quite a blast for the past for him. He was like, oh wow, I get a call every very number of years because there's basically none of these around anymore working. So he was kind of tickled to find out there was a set still around. And somebody dumb enough to try and use them, I guess. So we have the antenna that would sit on top of the yarder canopy. It's just a cheapo, no-name antenna, Radio Shack special or something. The magnetic base. This is the transmitter box. It's the on switch, or it's off now. That puts it on. It'll run on 12 or 24 volt. Takes a power source from 12 volt to a battery in the yarder. And these 2 wires send a signal to what's called the air chime. And you'll see this box in every yarder, every built. Sometimes they're green, sometimes they're red. It's called an air chime. It's just a big relay. Now I've wired this one up, and these batteries in this bug are still holding the charge from 6 years ago. 6 years ago. So I picked this up. Well, I've got a horn under the towel there, one out of a little 12 volt import horn. Doesn't sound very log-like, but so if I take the one button, I click it, and I hit this one, It's not making noise. But that's what it does. So it relays the chokerman signals here, like one would be for stop. So it transmits from your waist to the antenna, to the box, to the air chime, to the horn, which would be on the yarder in the landing with a big loud air horn. Everybody would hear it. So didn't quite want to throw them away. If anybody wants them, I'm not married to them, but it's kind of neat to have them just to show you guys. It's something really old here. So. Okay, that's our dinosaur talkie tooters by Challenger.